Have you ever pondered about the archaeological evidence supporting the resurrection of Jesus Christ? This question has stirred up a lively debate amongst scholars, theologians, and historians alike. The resurrection of Jesus, a pivotal event in Christian faith, is not just a matter of belief, but also a subject of rigorous scrutiny and archaeological investigation. When we delve into the world of archaeology, we find 7 significant discoveries and sites that have been linked to the resurrection of Jesus Christ. These include the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, the Garden Tomb, the rolling stone tombs of the 1st century AD, the remains of Jehohanan son of HGQWL, the Alexamenos Graffito, the Megiddo mosaic inscription, and the Nazareth Inscription. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre, traditionally recognized as the site of Jesus' death, burial, and resurrection, stands as a testament to this event. This sacred site, despite the ravages of time and conflict, continues to draw the faithful from around the world. Then there's the Garden Tomb, another site associated with the resurrection, and the rolling stone tombs of the 1st century AD, which provide a glimpse into the burial customs of the time. The remains of Jehohanan son of HGQWL, a man crucified in the 1st century AD, offer insight into the brutal form of execution Jesus himself endured. The Alexamenos Graffito, a piece of ancient graffiti, sheds light on early perceptions of Christ and his resurrection, while the Megiddo mosaic inscription provides further indirect evidence supporting the biblical account. Lastly, the Nazareth Inscription, a decree etched in marble, has sparked discussions about its possible connection to the resurrection event. These archaeological finds, each in their own way, contribute to our understanding of the resurrection, offering tangible connections to the biblical accounts. They remind us that the resurrection isn't just a story, but an event that unfolded in a real place, at a real time. Now, imagine the journey through the lens of history and archaeology. The resurrection debate continues, and as we delve deeper into these archaeological discoveries, we find ourselves stepping back in time, exploring the very roots of faith and history. How did a pagan shrine become the site of one of the most important Christian structures? This question takes us back to the early 4th century, to the reign of Emperor Constantine, a significant figure in the Christian faith. It was Constantine who ended the persecution of Christians in the Roman Empire, and his influence extended to the very landscape of Jerusalem. Under the reign of his predecessor, Emperor Hadrian, a pagan shrine had been erected over the tomb of Christ. This was a common practice at the time, a means of suppressing the growth of Christianity. However, with Constantine's rise to power and his conversion to Christianity, a change was set in motion. Constantine, guided by his mother, Empress Helena, ordered the destruction of Hadrian's pagan shrine. What they discovered beneath the rubble was nothing short of miraculous. The tomb of Christ was found intact, untouched by the pagan structure that had been built over it. This tomb, according to biblical accounts, was the very site where Jesus Christ was buried and resurrected. With this discovery, Constantine and Helena embarked on a mission to commemorate this sacred place. They initiated the construction of a complex that would encompass both the tomb and Golgotha, the site of Christ's crucifixion. The result was the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, a grand structure that encapsulated the pivotal events of Christ's death and resurrection. Alongside the church, a mausoleum was also built, further honoring the tomb of Christ. This Constantinian complex transformed the landscape of Jerusalem. It marked the shift from pagan to Christian dominance, not just in the city but across the Roman Empire. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre became a focal point for Christian pilgrims from around the world, a tradition that continues to this day. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre stands today as a testament to these historical events. It's a living monument to the faith's history, a testament to the resilience of Christianity amidst the trials of its early years. It's a symbol of the transformation brought about by Emperor Constantine, from a landscape marked by suppression to one that celebrates the central events of the Christian faith. What if a marble slab could speak volumes about Christ's resurrection? This intriguing question brings us to the fascinating tale of the Nazareth Inscription. A marble tablet engraved with an edict from an unnamed Caesar, the Nazareth Inscription has stirred up much debate among scholars. The inscription, written in Greek, forbids the tampering with graves and tombs, a crime punishable by death. Some believe it was a direct response to the empty tomb of Jesus, making it potentially one of the earliest secular references to the resurrection. It's a tantalizing idea, isn't it? Now let's talk about the marble itself. The origin of the marble is significant because it can offer clues about when and where the inscription was created. Recent studies suggest that the marble slab originated from the Greek island of Kos, not far from the shores of the Roman Empire. This discovery adds a new layer of complexity to the interpretation of the Nazareth inscription. Why? Because the edict engraved on the marble slab, believed to be from the time of Christ, is in Greek, not Latin, the language of the Roman Empire. This suggests that the message was intended for a Greek-speaking audience, possibly in a region where grave robbing was a particular issue. This doesn't necessarily undermine the potential link to Christ's resurrection, but it does broaden the scope of possibilities. The Nazareth inscription doesn't explicitly mention Christ, the empty tomb, or the resurrection. However, its timing, the severity of the punishment for tomb violation, and the possible political or social unrest that such an edict might be responding to, all contribute to the theory that it could indeed be connected to the events following Christ's resurrection. To sum up, the Nazareth inscription can be seen as an indirect piece of evidence, a small but significant puzzle piece in the grand mosaic of historical and archaeological clues pointing towards the resurrection of Christ. The Nazareth inscription, though silent, tells a compelling narrative about the resurrection. What does the tomb of Christ reveal about his status during his life? This question invites us to delve into the archaeological evidence surrounding the tomb of Christ. The exploration of this tomb, enshrined within the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, gives us a glimpse into the societal standing of Jesus during his lifetime. The tomb of Christ is what's known as a rolling stone tomb, a type of burial site that was common in the 1st century AD. But these were not for everyone. They were expensive to construct and were typically reserved for the wealthier class. This aligns with the biblical account found in the Gospel of Matthew, which tells us that Jesus was buried in the tomb of Joseph of Arimathea, a wealthy man who had become a follower of Christ. The Gospel of Mark further confirms this, describing Joseph as a prominent member of the council who was looking for the kingdom of God. He courageously asked Pilate for the body of Jesus, and receiving permission, he took it down, wrapped it in a linen shroud, and laid it in a tomb hewn out of rock. This was no pauper's grave. It was a tomb fitting for a man of status and wealth. Taking a closer look at the tomb itself, we find that it is a part of a larger complex of tombs, suggesting that it was a part of a family burial site. This further supports the idea that it belonged to a wealthy individual, as such complexes were a luxury that only the affluent could afford. Moreover, the fact that the tomb was found intact under a pagan shrine built by Emperor Hadrian and was miraculously preserved speaks to its importance and grandeur. It was significant enough to be recognized and venerated even under a different faith. In conclusion, the archaeological evidence paints a picture of a tomb that aligns with the biblical narrative. It suggests Jesus was buried in a tomb that signified wealth and status, fitting for a man who in life was a teacher, a healer, and a leader. As it turns out, even in death, Christ was surrounded by markers of status. What if a mockery could serve as one of the earliest testimonies to faith? Let's delve into a fascinating piece of history known as the Alexamenos Graffito. Located in Rome, this ancient graffiti is a crude drawing that dates back to the late 1st century to the early 2nd century. The sketch depicts a man with a donkey's head being crucified and another man standing by raising his hand in what appears to be an act of worship. The inscription beneath it roughly translates to "Alexamenos worships his God." This piece of graffiti was likely intended as a mockery of a Christian named Alexamenos and his faith in a crucified God. At first glance, this image may seem disrespectful. However, when we delve deeper, we find that it offers unique insight into the early perceptions and attitudes towards Christ and the resurrection. The graffito is one of the earliest known pictorial representations of the crucifixion of Christ. Despite its crude and mocking nature, it inadvertently provides evidence of the crucifixion as a historical event, one that was widely known and discussed, even among the non-believers of the time. The image also reflects the early Christians' bravery and commitment to their faith. Despite living in a society where their beliefs were misunderstood and often ridiculed, they remained steadfast. Alexamenos, whether a real individual or a symbolic representation of early Christians, is shown worshipping his God without hesitation or shame. The Alexamenos Graffito, in all its simplicity and crudeness, is a poignant testament to the resilience of faith. It serves as a reminder that faith is not necessarily about acceptance or understanding from others, but about personal conviction and unyielding belief. So, even in ridicule, faith found a way to express itself. What secrets do the walls of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre hold? This question has echoed through the centuries, piquing the curiosity of historians, archaeologists and believers alike. The Church, steeped in profound history, has been the subject of numerous restoration and conservation efforts, each one unearthing secrets that lend credence to the biblical account of Christ's resurrection. Central to these efforts was the restoration project on the edicule, or edicule, the small chapel within the church, believed to house the burial tomb of Jesus. Conducted by the National Technical University of Athens, this project has shed light on a myriad of archaeological features that have, in turn, added layers of depth and understanding to the historical and religious significance of the site. One of the most intriguing discoveries was the confirmation of the existence of the original limestone burial bed. Encased within marble cladding since at least 1,500 years ago, this burial bed was revealed intact, a miraculous preservation that echoes the biblical account of Jesus' miraculous resurrection. The conservation efforts also led to the discovery of a second, older, grey marble slab engraved with a cross, believed to date back to the 4th century. This slab, hidden beneath the cladding, is thought to have been placed there by Emperor Constantine or his mother Helena, further solidifying the connection between the church and the era of Constantine. The walls of the church, too, have their tales to tell. Mortar samples taken from different locations within the structure revealed that the church has witnessed multiple periods of construction, each layer adding to the rich tapestry of its history. These archaeological features, each a piece of the puzzle, help construct a fuller picture of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. They lend weight to the belief that this indeed is the site of Jesus' death, burial and resurrection, as the Bible recounts. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre, a living testament to the resurrection, continues to reveal its secrets. Every stone, every grain of mortar holds a tale waiting to be unearthed, a testament to faith and an enduring symbol of the resurrection. Why does archaeology matter when we talk about biblical events? It's a question that deserves a thoughtful answer. Archaeology is like a time capsule, revealing stories of the past that are etched in stone and buried in the sands of time. It brings to light the physical evidence of events and civilizations that once were. When it comes to biblical events, archaeology offers us more than just stories. It provides tangible, concrete proof that helps us understand these events in a new light. Think about the key points we've discussed in this video: the Constantinian Complex, the Nazareth Inscription, the wealthy man's tomb, the Alexamenos Graffito, and the restoration and conservation of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Each of these discoveries has deepened our understanding of biblical narratives and events. They've provided us with physical evidence that not only supports these narratives, but also gives us insights into the historical and cultural contexts in which these events took place. Consider the significance of the Nazareth Inscription, an ancient marble tablet inscribed with an edict from a Roman emperor. Its discovery has sparked intriguing discussions about its possible connection to the resurrection of Christ. Or the Alexamenos Graffito, a piece of graffiti that offers a glimpse into the beliefs and attitudes towards Christ and the resurrection in the ancient world. Each of these discoveries has not only enriched our understanding of the biblical narrative, but also brought us closer to the historical truth. Archaeology also plays a vital role in preserving and restoring our historical heritage. The restoration and conservation of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, for instance, have allowed us to protect and preserve this important site for future generations. It's a testament to the importance of archaeological work in not only discovering the past, but also preserving it for the future. So why does archaeology matter when we talk about biblical events? It's because archaeology brings us closer to the truth. It provides us with tangible evidence that helps us understand the biblical narrative in its historical and cultural context. It allows us to delve deeper into our past, illuminating the stories and events that have shaped our present. As we delve into the past, we uncover truths that enlighten our understanding of the present and perhaps the future.